Yeah, America is not the entire world. I know there's some people in a certain place that need to hear that, but yes, America is not the whole world. I'm coming even later this time, which I didn't think was possible. I'm gonna keep pushing it, but no, I'm not. I just love to see ownership that really cares about their players and their well-being.
Gabby Williams has had her introductory press conference for the Seattle Storm, and I think there's a lot of stuff that we can take away from what she had to say. So, without further ado, let's get into it.
Quita loves sports. It is in the name.
What is up, awesome people of the internet? Gabby Williams is back for a third season with the Seattle Storm after signing a rest of the season contract on August the 20th. Now, in her first season with the team in 2022, Gabby started all 36 games, averaging 7.5 points a game, 5 rebounds a game, 3.1 assists per game, and 1.5 steals a game, while connecting on a career best at the time, 44% from the field. Now, she also, alongside her offensive stats, she also was a pretty good defensive player in that season as well, becoming a second team defense player at the end of the season. And it was because of her ability to sort of be a lockdown defender, not just for small forwards, which is her natural position, but also basically 1 through 5. Gabby Williams is one of those rare players that really can do a pretty good job defensively against a center versus a point guard. She can kind of do it all, kind of run the gamut when it comes to defense, and actually shut down players as well. After that season in 2022, Gabby Williams was a unrestricted free agent, and in 2023, she signed a rest of the season contract with the Seattle Storm that was signed on July the 3rd. And the reason for her missing the first half of the season was because she was injured. So she signed a rest of the season contract with the team, finished playing the last 10 games of the year. She averaged in those games 8.4 points a game, 3.8 assists per game, 3.9 rebounds, and 1.5 steals. After last season in 2023, she became an unrestricted free agent again. Now, Gabby decided not to sign with a team for the first half of the year, though she was already in talks with Noelle Quinn and the Seattle Storm about returning to the squad.
The deciding factor was as long as I felt healthy mentally and physically, I would finish the season with Seattle. So to answer your second question, physically, I feel healthy. I feel good. I took about a week mentally after the Olympics. And yeah, I mean, I've been in conversations with Noe and Talisa and Lisa all summer, just keeping them updated how I feel. And we all decided that we would talk about it after the Olympics.
It was reported that for you to return to the WNBA, you didn't want to be cored by the team that you signed with. And just kind of wondering how much did your relationship with Seattle and the front office play into that decision making?
I mean, we're very transparent with each other. Right now, we're just going to focus on finishing the season. But I know that no matter what happens, they'll respect what I want. I'll respect what they want. And what I like about this ownership and staff is that we can be 100% transparent with each other, and I trust that.
Overall thoughts on the new practice facility now that you've been able to practice in it and everything?
Yeah, this is amazing. I almost want to just sleep here. This is crazy, and I think it just speaks to the ownership that we have here. And I mean, they're thinking ahead. They're thinking of things that we haven't even thought of that we might need, coming from a different franchise where we're playing in like almost a YMCA, sharing a locker room with like people who just finished their Pilates class. I just love to see ownership that really cares about their players and their well-being and did this for us.
Now, after the amazing Olympics that Gabby Williams had, where she averaged 15.5 points a game, 4.7 rebounds, 4.8 assists, 2.8 steals, and also a fantastic game against against Team USA, almost contributing to Team USA's loss, though Team USA ultimately did beat France in the gold medal game. A lot of teams wanted Gabby Williams because we saw her on the biggest and brightest of stages and saw her absolutely ball. A lot of teams wanted her, but Seattle still had the advantage.
There was some reporting about other teams that were interested in bringing you in. Did you have any conversations, or was it kind of Seattle or bust as far as the WNBA, along with what you were saying before?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always open to having conversations, but I was also very open with the teams that I spoke with that I kind of already had like a foot in the door with Seattle, and that is a place where I'm comfortable. But it's always good to explore options. But yeah, I wasn't really going anywhere.
Like, you've had the option to go even last year to a different team. What are some of the things that really pull you to Seattle?
I love our staff. I love my teammates here, first of all. I like how we play, and I feel like everyone here has a lot of confidence in me, and that helps me a lot. And I think it's gives me opportunities to grow here, to get better as a player. And yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that's why I keep coming back.
And now Gabby Williams is back with the team that she really enjoys playing with, and she's ready to do anything the team needs her to do to ensure that this team makes it as far as possible in the WNBA playoffs. And it helps that she is very, very familiar with the squad.
I'm coming even later this time, which I didn't think was possible. I'm gonna keep pushing it, but no, I'm not. Uh, so I'm really like I said, just trying to plug in holes, like Noe said. If one day they need me to just kind of be a defensive stopper, I'll do it. If they need me to handle the ball a bit more. So just doing the things that I do normally, I guess, and just using that to kind of plug in where I fit in.
12 games left. Is it enough for you to kind of get into the groove of things, to figure them out, for them to figure you out?
Well, we already know each other. We already know each other. I don't think there's much figuring out to do. I mean, hopefully, yeah, I guess to answer your question, isn't that what we all want? But like I said, I already know everyone here. The staff knows me, and then the players that we have added it's very easy to play with them. So I don't see a problem with that.
And along the lines of that previous question, now you're stepping into a stretch run, a team that's fighting for home court advantage. What do you think you can bring over the next month here to help the Storm climb in the standings?
Noe's just said, she's going to use me to kind of plug holes that we have. If we need help at the backup point guard one day, if it's me playing at the three one day, just like she said, be that that kind of Swiss Army knife. She's calling it the French Army knife now. She's like, just kind of be that adaptable player for us, and that's kind of what I like to do, and it's what I've always done here. So just the same role I think I've had.
So far, Seattle has been playing some really good defense, and you're regarded as a top two-way player in this league. What have you seen from their defense that you've really liked, and what do you hope to contribute to it?
Well, we're very athletic, so we get a lot of tips. What I saw just today and what we even talked about was just kind of like finishing out plays. So just like that extra effort to when we get the tip, now we get the steal and the layup. I think that's what I can kind of help with. But we're gonna be so athletic, we're so long. We're gonna get a lot of tips. We're gonna get a lot of defensive stops. We're gonna get a lot of blocks. It's just about like cleaning up around that. And I think that's where I can help.
And that familiarity really, really helps her because right now, Seattle, they're a good team. They're a good team led by Jewel Lloyd, Nneka Ogwumike, Skylar Diggins-Smith, Ezzy Madmagor. Like, they have a good core for players, right? You have a scorer off the bench with Sammy Whitcomb. You have a young up-and-coming star in Jordan Horston, who has been inserted in the starting lineup for the Seattle Storm. And if you've seen both Gabby and Jordan Horston play, you probably have seen some similarities between Gabby and Jordan. Both are naturally small forwards, but both can defend other players and also play in different positions on the court. And that's something that, of course, Gabby realizes. And so I am very much interested to see how exactly they really, really work together, because I do think that it's one of those situations where we may not see them both on the court at the same exact time because they do have similar skill sets.
Last year, me coming in, I know they wanted me to kind of just mentor her a little bit as a rookie. Just kind of, we obviously have similar games, so I think I could relate to a lot of what she was going through, and that's kind of like the same role I have. I'm Jordan Horston's #1 fan, and I see so much potential in her, and I also see like a lot of the same kind of mental blocks that I had. So I try to like just mentor her so that she can progress a lot faster than I did. Currently right now, I think it's gonna be how we run. If we get on the court together, I'm gonna push because I know that she can get out. I know that she's always she moves without the ball very well, and I think our games can kind of complement each other that way. Just playing with pace, playing with movement, and then of course on defense, we can be really dynamic.
And if you all know anything about Gabby Williams, you know that her history with the Chicago Sky is interesting. If you all don't know much about that, I would recommend you all check out the video that I made walking through what happened with Gabby Williams and her relationship with James Wade and the Chicago Sky, and why she will likely never ever play for the Sky again. But you all know that Gabby Williams has a lot to say about the WNBA and how they treat overseas players and whatnot, and overall prioritization being, in her minds, an issue with the WNBA. A thing to note is guys, if a player is signed with a team, they arrive late to training camp, they will be suspended for the entire season, which is why Gabby Williams made the decision to not sign with the team early on, or like before the season started, because she would have arrived late. And so because she was an unrestricted free agent, that's why she was able to join the Seattle Storm team, which is why she said that one of the requirements for her signing with a team is for them not to core her, because if they do core her, that means she is sort of forced to re-sign with them, and then would wind up getting the prioritization. It sort of counts against her because she's going to arrive late. And that's going to be a whole issue. Now that she just signed a rest of the season contract, she can pretty much do the same thing every single year should a team want her, where she joins later in the season and just signs the rest of the season contract. So that's a thing. And prioritization is something that Gabby Williams has talked about, other players have talked about, and she was asked about it in the press conference, and here is what she had to say.
What is it that you would like to tell your league leaders as maybe they enter any type of negotiation with the owners?
Well, we know it's a select amount of owners. We know we can guess who those owners are. I could say their names, but I'll be classy. And I think I've said this before, it shouldn't be a blanket rule. I don't understand. I understand the want to have players here, and I think prioritization has to go hand in hand with our money that we're making as well. But yeah, I don't think it should be a blanket rule. I think if a team can handle it, they can handle it. If not, don't sign European players or players who play in Europe. And yeah, America is not the entire world. I know there's some people in a certain place that need to hear that, but yes, America is not the whole world. Well, I don't think it's just me. I think a lot of players have spoken against prioritization. So I have trust that our union will try to negotiate that, because I've even talking with players like Jonquil Jones, Brianna Stewart, Satu Sabali. I mean, everyone has spoken against this rule. So I don't think I need to say anymore. I think we got it.
All right, so that is the gist of what Gabby Williams had to say in her introductory presser. I just wanted to highlight some of what I felt were sort of the key things that were talked about. I will link the entire presser below so you all can take a look at the full thing for yourself. Now, guys, I am very curious to hear what you all have to say about Gabby's thoughts about prioritization. Like from a player perspective, I get why she feels that way, absolutely. But I don't think the WNBA will or should adjust the CBA to get rid of prioritization. The reason why is because the WNBA, they just signed a new deal for media rights, and you want, when you're going to have more games on TV and whatnot, you want all of the players to be available on day one, unless they're injured, right? Not they're arriving late overseas and whatnot. There was a whole issue in the past of players coming weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks late. And you would make it sometimes a full month into the WNBA season, and you're like, well, I don't really know how good this team is because they still got players overseas that haven't came back yet, right? Or they just get back and they're resting before they join their team. Like it's an issue. It really is. It's an issue because it hurts fans' ability to sort of really, really connect with all the players, before this, like as the season is sort of kicking off. I also think that it's detrimental to teams that can't afford to sign a player and have them sort of take their time coming back, while also having sort of filler players that can sort of fill in the gap, right? It's beneficial for certain teams. I think it is beneficial, especially if you can afford it. But I just think overall, it's not really good for the game to have people show up late. If you miss training camp, I get it. So maybe they can make the rule, adjust the rule to say that, hey, if you arrive late for training camp, it's fine. But if you are not here on day one of the WNBA season, then you gotta get suspended for the whole year. I'm cool with that. I am very much cool with that. If they want to say that you could arrive late for training camp, but to arrive late for the first game of the season without being injured, without something else happening, where you're just overseas playing for another team, I don't know. I don't know about that. Like I think it's tough because again, there are just some realities that the WNBA has to contend with viewership, ratings, attendance, fan attendance. Do fans really want to pay for single game tickets when the top player or one of the top players on a team won't even be there for 2 weeks, right? So maybe you don't buy the tickets, right? So it's a whole thing, and I get it from a player's perspective. I get why they think that, why Gabby and others, feel the way they feel about prioritization. But also from a business perspective, I understand why the WNBA fought to put that rule in the CBA. But what are your thoughts? I'm very much curious to hear what you all have to say. Y'all can leave those in the comments. Thank y'all so much for watching. And until next time, guys. Bye-bye.